Risk?
Risk.
Oh, love Risk. I need to get a Risk tournament. I used to have Risk tournaments. I love Risk. Let's play Risk. We should call up the guys. We should play Risk. Do you like Risk?
I prefer Settlers of Catan.
Why? What's this whole Settlers of Catan? Okay, here's the deal. Do you have Settlers of Catan? On our next trip, you need to get Settlers of Catan and I play it. So which one do you like better, Settlers of Catan or Risk? Send out your post, your tweet, mention, tag me, and then put just hashtag Risk or hashtag whatever dumb game Jeremiah just talked about. Hello, adventure. You know, I heard a quote about marketing and somebody defined it as marketing is getting an unfair share of attention. And I absolutely love that. I want to give you an unfair share of attention. I want you to have an advantage. I talk a lot about thoughtfulness, but I still am fascinated with strategy. And if we can use strategy to help you be more thoughtful, if we can use technology to give you an advantage, then I'm all for it. So in today's episode, we are going to talk about a tool that is going to help you figure out the best time to send your tweets. You see, you need to be tweeting more than just once a couple times a week. You want to start out probably 3 times a day. You might say 3 times a day, that's a lot. Well, we are actually going to have an episode that's going to even help you deal with some of that. But I want to talk specifically about finding the best time to send that tweet. There are many tools that will help you do that, but the one that I want to give you that's free is called Tweeriad. We're going to do a demo really quick. In Adventure Support, they're going to put a link to that so that you can find the best time to tweet. So let's go tweet. I don't know, like let's go rock, but hey, let's go rock some tweets. Chirp. Okay, so here it is. We are at Tweeriad and that is just tweeriad.com. This is just gonna ask you to sign in with your Twitter account. Now, it's safe to sign into here. It's not gonna charge you anything. It's not gonna post to your Twitter account. This is just authorizing you to do that. You can request your free account. Most apps, most websites, most tools that I want to give you, they're called a freemium plan. So they're free and there's a lot of value starting out that you can get. When you start to see a lot of results, then you can look at paying for extra service. This is free to get your initial analysis. You also can get like a one-time report for $5. You can pay like $4 a month, which a lot of you don't need to do that. This will help you initially. So I'm gonna go to My Analysis. It's already done My Analysis. I already have it on there because I have an account. When you do your analysis, it might take up to 3 to 4 hours. So you don't have to keep hitting refresh. It'll say right there on the screen, just people don't read anymore. Here is what is really, really cool. It is analyzing the number of my followers, for example, over to hourly graphs. And what it says is on the weekends, here's what's happening based upon the people that I follow on the weekends. So to be strategic, where am I gonna go and tweet? So if I wake up at 7 a.m., 6 a.m. and I tweet, look at the difference between there is 3 times more people at 3 p.m. than there is when maybe I first wake up on the weekend, which why would you, it's the weekend. Why are you waking up early on the weekend? But you see like 3 times more. Well, if there's 3 times more, then think about that. What does that mean for your engagement? And to do that, it's 3 times more people see that. Also on the weekdays, look how it's slightly changed. So there is more of a spike in the afternoon. Now, your graph will look a little bit different. You'll notice when it comes to followers, generally the idea is there is I call it the whale graph. That's not even a real thing, I made it up. You'll find that a lot of times, like if I overlay all of them, you see that generally they're following the same pattern. But weekdays, 6 p.m. is a really good time for me versus weekends, it's not so much a good time. It's starting to taper off, at least on Twitter. Different other social media accounts, it changes and we'll get to that. But at least from here, now I can also look at, for example, Sunday versus Monday. So this allows me to go in and say, wow, that's some good information based upon hourly. I can be more thoughtful. So in this screen, you might not have all this in here because I have an account here, but this just gives you what the possibilities are. So weekends, what it's showing me is that based upon the number of replies that I get the most number of replies between 10 and 11 on the weekends. So it's probably smart for me to post something that might be more based upon that we get a reply. Versus the weekdays, it's starting out in the morning. Different than the hourly graphs, right? The hourly graphs are telling me this is when people are online. Just because a lot of people are online doesn't also associate to when they actually reply. So this helps me, the combination of that, get good information as to where I should possibly post something. Also just general stats. So when we look at exposure, this is telling me that on the weekends, if I'm gonna tweet twice, I'm gonna do one here and one here, if I'm only doing that. Those times are slightly different on the weekdays, not too much. So that's exposure, but followers are online, again, 3 o'clock, really great time for me. And then 6 to 7, it's gonna drop off a lot. That's on the weekends. Weekdays, you'll notice I hit 3, but I get a really big, good spike here, down to hardly anything, typically East Coast dinner time, I hit it again. I also, for example, what I did is I spent $5 and I got a detailed report where it actually gave me a breakdown of every day. That allows me to look to say, is there any pattern of a difference between these days? It can be pretty cool once you start to analyze that data and get that in there. And it's free and it's really simple and it's gonna help you be more strategic so you can be more thoughtful. So now that I know what that schedule is, I can know that, hey, I should be tweeting about this time. You hear me talk about automation. What I hate about automation is when we try to use automation to replace personal interaction. I don't mind though automation when I'm doing my dishes. I don't mind automation going through a car wash. I'm a big fan of automation. We're gonna do an episode on a lot of ways to help automate because it's gonna save you time, which then gives you more time for people, which is what it's all about. Some of the things about automation that you might think, well, didn't you just say no automation is about scheduling? Should you or should you not schedule your tweets? Now, here's what I try to do. I know that there are some days where I'm not gonna be available. Instead of scheduling, I call it pre-thoughtfulness, is that I know I wanna say something. I don't wanna say it right now because I just said something 10 minutes ago and I don't wanna be spamming everybody's timeline. So I'm just saying, hey, please delay this. It's not like I'm putting something on automated and it's not me, even though some people do that and that is not the way to do it. You won't get that engagement, but I'm wanting to spread things out. And so I will say, hey, defer this tweet to the future, knowing where that is. So actually in tomorrow's episode, we are gonna give you some scheduling tools that will help you do that. So your homework is go to that website, figure out the best times to tweet because your tweets are awesome. Your adventure is amazing. The world needs to hear about them. So let's put it at the optimal time because your adventure begins right now.